So I was looking back through my oldest videos with a view to choosing a subject that was a multi-part subject and stitch them all together and re-release them. And something I did 6 years ago was this ship, Jenna's ship from Blake 7. And yeah, there's a couple of parts, but I never did a final part. And I looked and looked, and I never released it. So yeah, this is going to be unusual now in that you're going to have a couple of parts coming up from 6 years ago, and then a new part, which is the restoration of it, because I went up into the attic to find it, found it, but we've got some damage here, bits missing, and the front is gone. I don't know where on earth that's gone. What we're going to have now is an unusual one. It's part of this upcoming video is me from 6 years ago, and then I'll be back to tell you how I go about finally finishing it and finally releasing a final part, if you see what I mean. If you ever went across to my other mystery models page, you'll have known over the years that I make an awful lot of scratch built spacecraft out of junk and kit bits and what have you. The usual premise being I find a shape that I quite like and go from there. Well, I hadn't done one for a while and I was thinking about doing another one, and because I'm now doing a Blake 7 in Character podcast, or the Blake 7 in Character podcast, I'm deeply back into Blake 7, so I thought I would scratch build a spacecraft that could be set in the Blake 7 universe. And I was thinking, well, what shall I do? And then I thought, oh, hang on, Jenna in the show was a smuggler, sort of like a female Han Solo. Han Solo's got the Millennium Falcon. Why don't I have a go at making Jenna's spaceship? So this is kind of what it is. It's just a bit of nonsense, but yeah, if you bear in mind that this is set in the Blake 7 universe. So this is her ship, this is her smuggler's ship. And as I say, usually I start with a shape, a donor shape. And in this case, it was this main bulky shape here, which is a box that the old Bionicles toys used to come in. And I've always liked these because they're a nice rounded shape like that, and you get this really nice detailed lid on the front. Okay, so that was the initial shape, and I wanted a cockpit, so this is like the cockpit area, and this is like a yogurt bottle which I hot glued to a lid as a connecting bit between the two. Right, now this plastic is that horrible waxy plastic no glue sticks to except hot glue. So what I did was I put on some hot glue, put this plastic card on, and then all the kit bits are going onto the plastic card. All right, kit bits, that's the other thing. Because this was, or is supposed to be, from the Blake 7 universe, I decided to use kit pieces that would have been available to the BBC model makers back in the late 70s, early 80s. So only kit pieces that were around then, which is why you've got two R2-D2 leg halves just here. And all the other pieces that I'm using are Airfix or Tamiya. Okay. What else we got? Oh yes, the two wing things going on here are rubber stamp things that my friend Andrew gave to me, so I've stuck them on sort of like wings. Got some googly eyes here. Googly eyes, because when you paint them you get these nice little curves. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this is horrible plastic as well. There's no way anything's going to glue to that. But the way I've got around that is by using these self-adhesive coach lines stripes, because I found that super glue works very well on them. So what I do is I'll put down a coach line and then super glue kit parts onto it. This is a cut down ladder off of an Airfix kit. I've cut it down because they're supposed to denote windows, or they will do when I've painted it. Same thing up here as well, coach line kit parts. All these little connecting things I've glued to the coach line instead of onto the plastic. And the only other thing to note is the very front is the head of a Dalek off of our son's broken Dalek toy. So I've put that on the front. I think I might put a couple of kit pieces on there. This is injection plastic, so that will stick no problem. But when I paint it, these like the clear yellow lights at the front, I'm going to keep them clear. I'm going to mask them off. So yeah, this is going to be, would you believe, Jenna's spacecraft. Although I wasn't planning it at the time, it's looking an awful lot like a Klingon bird of prey, isn't it? So that's where I am at the moment, and I'll be back to it soon. Right, I'm thinking that Jenna's spaceship is now ready for primer. I've finished putting the last of the kit pieces on here and there. These are like insides of tank wheels just below the bobble eyes, and I've put them on the back as well. The engine bell at the back is a cap, plastic cap off of something or other, and I put another cap inside, you know, just to busy it up, make it look a little bit more interesting. Always keep caps, you know, get a bottle, oh that's an interesting cap, put it in the box. And so yeah, just about finished. I've got some little kit pieces here on the old Dalek dome, just there like that. As I say, keeping in tradition with model makers of the late 70s, early 80s, I've stuck all the kit pieces, well, I did stick them, but I've stuck to Airfix and Tamiya kit parts for everything, apart from one, which is this little radar dish on the top, just there, okay, which I'm sure you recognise it. It's off the Millennium Falcon, isn't it? The reason I put that on is A, it's quite in scale with this ship. If you think that these are windows just along here, that's about the right scale for it. But also Millennium Falcon, this is off the Bandai 144th kit of the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon kit, of course, was out in the late 70s, so yeah, I'm allowing it. Okay, so that's it. It does look Klingon bird of prey, doesn't it? Oh dear, that was not the intention. And I'm holding off on any comments about Jenna being a bird of prey or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, prime time next, and then the next question is, what colour would Jenna have her spaceship? Any ideas? Please leave them in the comments section below. Please excuse any banging that you might hear. We've got some work going on outside at the moment. So yeah, in the end I decided on a blue. I'm pretty sure I know what blue this is. It would have been a Vallejo blue. Couldn't tell you the name of it. I might have to seek it out when I replace the front. All right, I know that would have been Vallejo ivory. And then I've just gone in and picked out metallics, etc, etc. Oh, by the way, there is a missing piece just there, which was in the box. All right, no sign of the front though. Yeah, so, and this bit, which was from the Tamiya Pink Panther kit, is long gone, so I've got to find a substitute for that. So that's another challenge. Another challenge is, and maybe this is the reason why I didn't do the final video, is I think I rushed the weathering. This looks an awful lot to me like just black paint, watered down, sploshed on and dabbed off. That's how I often did it back then. I think I've improved since then. So another challenge is to go in and just work on what I did and tidy it up and refine it. And I'm also thinking I might add a bit more detail in places. I don't know yet. I'm undecided. Yeah, so now we've got to talk about the front. What am I going to do about the front? Well, luckily, it just so happens that in the box was yet another broken Dalek, one of my son's broken Daleks. So that's good. That's exactly the same head that I was using before. So I've just got to take that off And now I can go two ways. I mean, I'll stick little pieces on just like I had done before. I doubt very much they'll be exactly the same. But then the question is, do I seek out this blue and paint it? Because it was blue with some of these panels here in a white or the ivory. Or do I just have it a plain white matching the white stripes there? I don't know. I'll think about it. So first thing is to do is pop that off, find some kit bits for it, and then start working on this and giving it a bit of a tweak. Well, the penny's finally dropped as to why I never put up the third part of this build. And that's because when I went to download the first two parts that you've just seen from 6 years ago, I couldn't find them. They didn't exist. But they did the other day when I looked on my phone. And it's because back in the day I had problems accessing this channel. I couldn't remember the password and the reset was just a pain in the arse. And I never thought I was going to get anywhere with it. So I created a new Mr. E Models channel and started putting videos up on that. And then I got back into this one and stayed with this one because this has got the large backlog of videos. And ever since then, I've been on this one and not the other one. But the two I had already put up were on the other one. And I just never noticed. So that's fine. I've been able to log in, and that's how come you've just watched them. Anyway, waffle out the way. I decided to try and match this colour for putting the new head on and various other bits, you see. So what I did, I went to my local model shop because I'm pretty darn sure it was a Vallejo blue or grey blue, and I couldn't decide just looking at the pots. And I narrowed it down to 3, and I think it's this pale grey blue. And if it isn't, it ain't far off. Okay, so new parts are going to be done in that, and I need to prime them, of course, first. So I've just been having a rummage and finding things. Basically, what you've got here is 2 different gauges of plastic rod. These are wheels off the space shuttle kit. These 4 pieces are off of Darth Vader's TIE fighter. These 2 pieces are off the 124th Airfix Mustang kit. Tamiya pieces. These are life rafts off of an Airfix ship. Yeah, and then the business end, the cockpit area, I've detached him. I've masked up the lenses. There's a substitute piece, and just to hide the Dalek stalk bit, that's a very obvious piece, I know, from Darth Vader's TIE fighter, but it's a bit of fun. This whole thing is just a bit of fun. So next thing is pop outside, spray these all in primer. And then what I'll do is some of them, like the cockpit area, I'll do in the correct one, but I'm thinking maybe pale blue, so it's just so we've got some darker shapes in there. So I'll come back with that all done. Right, so what I've done is I've used those 3 paints. I'm not just going to use the pale grey blue. I'm going to use all of them. So some of the rods I've painted in some of the colours. This is the pale grey blue on the original ship, ditto there, but this is one of the greenier ones, and I'm going to be attaching them next. Ditto down here. Now this is roughly what I remember the front looking like. Obviously I didn't have that bit, but what I had done is these sections I had painted in that pale grey blue. These bits here and here I painted in the Vallejo ivory. And I haven't got any of that, but I've ordered some, just a bit of contrast. And then that bit in the middle, I'm going to paint black and then gloss it because that's the actual cockpit window. So let's work out where all these are going to go, and I'll attach them and come back before I start weathering them and blending them to what I had already done. So I didn't attach all the new parts. We've got new ones here. I thought I'd break up the gunmetal in the middle with a couple of wheels, a bit of strip and a bit of the Mustang. New ones here and here, each side, and some new strip down here and across here and here. And I'm glad some of them I've done a different colour. The next thing now is to blend them in. So I've got to kind of like match the wash that I did 6 years ago, which is going to be easy enough. That's just a black wash. But as I say, contrast paints and stuff have come along now, and I can refine what I've done and just tweak it somewhat. Also, the other thing, of course, is before I put the metallics on, I'd sprayed everything with matte varnish to take the sheen off of the decals and the glossiness of the white coat stripes that I'd put on. So, of course, the finish on the new pieces are glossier than the rest of it. Now, I can't spray it when I'm done with matte varnish because it will take all the sheen off of the metals. So what I'll do is I'm going to hand paint the new pieces with matte varnish when I'm done. I'm also thinking about putting more decals on as well. So let's see how we go. So now this is the proper refinement starts. All right, so that's the ivory applied. I just need to wash it so it matches the grubbiness of the rest of it. Then middle bit is painted black, which I will then coat with gloss varnish. Take these bits off. I think maybe some metal. Sorry, I've got a very runny nose. It's not ideal timing. Do metal around the very base of the clear bits, and I definitely want to put at least one decal in this area. Okay, do that, and then I'm done. All I've got to do is just glue that on, and I'm finished, and that's when I will return. Please excuse the background. This is so big, to put it on the table is the only way to get it all in. Although, if you squint, use your imagination, Jenna could be orbiting a sun, I suppose. So that's the ship done. All I did was a few more little rusty, oily areas near the back. And yeah, you can see at the front, I did include a decal just down there. Here's the cockpit black and then glossed. Removed the masking off of the clear bits and put the bit of metal then there. All right, so there she is, finally done after 6 years. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it.